Don't tell us these laws are about voter fraud. You're more likely in America to be struck by lightning than commit voter fraud. Don't tell us these laws are about strengthening our elections. Shortening the early vote doesn't strengthen our elections. Limiting the number of drop boxes doesn't strengthen our elections. Criminalizing food and water to voters doesn't strengthen our elections. These laws are about one thing and one thing alone: making it harder for Americans to vote. They are reprehensible in my judgment. They are anti-democratic in the judgment of most, and they carry the stench of oppression. In democracy, when you lose an election, you try to persuade more voters to vote for you. You don't try to ban the other side from voting. That's what Orban does. That's what Erdogan does. That's what dictators do. So what are my Republican colleagues in the Senate going to do? These laws carry the stench of oppression, the smell of bigotry. Are you going to stamp it out, or are you going to allow it to be spread? I plead with my Republican colleagues, think twice. I plead with Leader McConnell, think twice. The eyes of history are on all of you. Where are you going to stand? Think twice, please, my Republican friends. Think twice, Leader McConnell. President Trump told a big lie, one of the biggest ever told. We all know that. Every single person in this room knows that. Every single person. And it's taking root. This big lie is taking root in our country, not just in the minds of his voters, but in the laws of the land. When you perpetuate or tolerate lies about the election like this, you erode our democracy. When people don't believe elections are on the level, it places us on a road to autocracy. Who knows what will happen next? Who knows? This is a sad and dark moment, I must say, for the Republican Party. Republicans are seeking to perpetrate and act upon the big lie that the election was stolen, simply to placate, maybe please, the most dishonest president in American history. And unfortunately, the big lie is spreading like a cancer among Republicans. It's enveloping and consuming the Republican Party in both houses of Congress. Down the hall from us, House Republicans are plotting the demotion of a Republican member for the crime of repeating the truth, that Joe Biden is the President of the United States and that Donald Trump is lying. Liz Cheney spoke truth to power, and for that, she is being fired. Here in the Senate, Republicans appear content to allow the sacred right to vote to be taken away from millions on the false ground that there was fraud, something for which there is no evidence. Even my good friend from Missouri thinks we have to stop future fraud, stop people from voting because there might be future fraud. That's not the way to do this. Every Republican in this room knows Joe Biden won the election fair and square. Everyone. Everyone knows that Donald Trump perpetrated the big lie. But unfortunately, it seems the price of admission in today's Republican Party is silence in the face of provable lies. Lies that right now are poisoning our democracy and exciting a plague of voter suppression. And this is a danger, not just to the Republican Party. I believe it's a danger to the Republican Party, and we need two strong parties. But it's a danger to the Republic. Aren't there a few Republicans who will refuse to follow the rush of their party, who will follow the example of Liz Cheney here on this committee today? Maybe there'll be a Republican who will support this bill, or at least offer constructive amendments. I hope there will be a few. I hope and pray. The bill before this committee has a very simple premise: make it easier, not harder, to vote. S1 would nullify many of these voter suppression laws and protect the rights of American voters, whether they cast their ballots for Democrats or Republicans. It would automatically register American voters when they get a driver's license, guarantee at least 15 continuous days of early voting, end partisan gerrymandering, and bring transparency to our campaign finance system. I know my Republican colleagues don't like every aspect of it. Fine. Tell us how you change it. Offer good faith amendments to improve the bill, which the chair has said she would graciously and eagerly entertain. But, my Republican colleagues, if you choose the path of uncompromising opposition, you will cast yourself in league with the most reprehensible, sweeping voter suppression effort in decades. That is a legacy-defining choice. I yield the floor.
Thank you, Senator Schumer. Senator McConnell.